Hello everyone. I did want to make this video outside today because it's such a lovely day, but as soon as I started to record, some builders started using a pneumatic drill, so it wasn't very appropriate for me to carry on, so I have had to come back inside unfortunately, but maybe I'll get out there another day. Anyway, this video is going to be on a subject that I've touched and spoken about a few times now, but I'm still getting contact from people, and one of them's my friend, who's got bad hearing loss, etc. And this notion, this idea that if you have tinnitus, the way to treat it or focus on helping it is the ear. And doctors will tell you this as well, because I've had this myself. When I first had tinnitus, I went to my hospital and one of the doctors said to me, and they were insistent upon it, so I understand why people think it is the ear. He was insistent upon it that it was the ear that was my problem with my tinnitus. And I said to him, well, I've done a bit of research on this, and my own opinion is that it's not actually my ear that's the problem. It's something to do with my brain. And it was a female doctor. She was dismissive of it, and this is what I have found with a lot of the medical fraternity, and I know I've spoken about this a few times. So this is why I'm going to make this video, and hopefully this will put this notion, this idea that to cure or help your tinnitus you need to focus on your ears. This is not correct. And the reason I say this is, of course, we understand that you can be struck with tinnitus due to loud noise exposure to your ears. This is true. Whether that be loud music or maybe listening to a pneumatic drill. The guy was wearing ear protection, so I guess he'll be okay, but it was a bit loud for me. Yes, so, and a lot of the special forces, soldiers, suffer from tinnitus. When they come back from wherever they've been, Iraq, wherever they've been, you know, a lot of soldiers, people in the special forces, come back and they are suffering with tinnitus. Now they're prime candidates because, one, they're being exposed to really loud noise exposure, explosions, bombs, guns, whatever the hell else is going on out there. But also, they're also subject to high levels of stress and amped up in that kind of situation when you're a soldier. So they are prime candidates for tinnitus. So yes, you can, and we know people do, be struck with tinnitus due to loud noise. However, if you have been struck with tinnitus due to loud noise exposure and you have trauma and damage to your ears, this will usually be hair cell damage, because it is the hair cells that hear the outside noise of the outside world. It goes through to your hair cells, they vibrate, because that's what sound is, vibration. They vibrate and they send a certain signal from the hair cells through the auditory nerve, etc., to your brain. Your brain then interprets this noise and says, right, this is the sound of a car, or this is the sound of a plane. That's what it is. I'm going to interpret this, and the person I'm attached to will hear this noise. Now, when your hair cells are damaged or dead, destroyed, they do not grow back. If they're dead and have been destroyed completely, they do not grow back. And I know there is a girl in America, a young girl, and she suffered terrible hair cell damage due to she was given some eardrops by the medical fraternity. Yet again, she was given some eardrops because she was complaining of a noise in her ear, and she had a small perforation in her eardrum, and this particular type of eardrop burns hair cells. So that was fantastic by the medical fraternity. Well done, brilliant, really great. So now she has suffered with severe hair cell damage, and they don't grow back. Now, when they're dead, as I say, they are dead. Now, my friend, who's got bad hearing loss, and he wears this earpiece pretty much constantly. People like my friend still suffer from spikes with their tinnitus. It fluctuates, it goes up and down, up and down. They can have a bad spike, but it will come down again. It fluctuates a lot. You know, I've had it myself. My tinnitus was caused by high levels of stress. I have some slight hearing loss, but it's very, very slight. So I possibly have a little bit of hair cell damage, but my hearing's fine. My hearing is fine. But I have tinnitus. When your brain is no longer receiving, and this is the whole nub of this notion about the ear being what you need to treat. It's not the case. When your brain is no longer receiving the correct pitch, tone, sound or noise from your hair cells because they're dead, so they can't send the correct frequency, pitch, sound to your brain. They can't do it. They're dead. Your brain doesn't like this. The brain does not like gaps in the auditory system. So what the brain will do, the brain will think to itself, I'm not hearing the correct tone, what is this? I will try and fill in this gap. And the brain will then try, and this is what I believe, the brain will then try and fill this gap that it's no longer receiving from the ear. It will try and fill this gap. And when it does this, this is the noise or sound that we know as tinnitus. So there is no point trying to treat the ear. The ear is no longer the problem. Whether you got your tinnitus through loud noise exposure and physical trauma to the ear, because Julian had this as well. He at one point he got rid of his tinnitus. It had gone. He got rid of it, but he says foolishly, he was at a carnival in London and he stepped in front of a very, very loud speaker right next to his ear, and of course, bang, it caused him to have tinnitus again. It damaged his hair cells. He does have some severe hearing loss in one of his ears. I think it's his right ear, and he has spoken about this. He has hearing loss in one of his ears, but he still managed to get rid himself of the tinnitus by treating the mind, the brain, not the ear. You can't repair the damage to the ear. The hair cells are dead. And this is what I'm trying to say to people. I know it may feel like it is the ear, because at the beginning, very start, I thought it was my ear. It's not. It's your brain. And to help you recover and reduce your tinnitus, it is your brain that you need to address. That's why tinnitus fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down. And it's very, very much, as I've said many times, connected to your emotional state of being. If you get stressed, or in my case when I get angry, stress affects me as well, of course, but particularly if I start to feel angry, which I've worked on a lot, and I'm getting a lot better at it. I had a spike recently. Some of you probably have seen this. It was pretty awful. That was through getting angry and upset. That's your brain. That's not your ear. Your ear has, if you get emotionally stressed or angry, your ear has nothing to do with your tinnitus going up in volume. It's your brain, it's your mind that is creating this noise. And by calming the brain and the nervous system, this is why you can manage to calm down your tinnitus. And that's what I practice. When I'm calming myself, the noise comes down. That's nothing to do with my ear. When I'm practicing Tai Chi, I'm not listening to anything. My ear isn't hearing any, particular noise to calm it down. It's because I am feeling relaxed within myself, within my body. When I go to the gym, I will focus my mind into my body. Same with the Tai Chi, the meditations, all these things that, and I can speak pretty, strongly about this because I've done it. Okay, I have done it. I know that through these methods, I can get my tinnitus to back down. All of my methods that I use, a lot most of it has come through Julian. It is the mind that I am focusing on, and it is the mind that allows me to get rid of my tinnitus. And I'm going to make a second part of this video which will even further show and illustrate, I hope, why it is the mind that you need to concentrate on. You know, if you've been unfortunate enough to go to doctors and ENTs, particularly GPs though, and they try and tell you it's the ear, it is not the ear. They don't know, they don't understand it. This is why, as I've said before, and it's very upsetting to hear, because I had it and I know a lot of you have had it as well. You speak to them, and my friend had it very bluntly put to him, there's no cure, there's nothing you can do about it. Stick this earpiece on your head for the rest of your life. That is not helpful. This is not helpful. So please, if you want further confirmation of this, watch Julian's videos, various others. It is the brain. It is the brain. There was a seminar very recently. I'll try and find the link. I think it's on a thing called Text Talks or something like that, where a professor is giving a seminar on tinnitus, and he says it should be reclassified from ringing in the ear to ringing in the brain, because it is the brain. And they are just starting to see through various different types of MRI scan, etc., that tinnitus sufferers, when compared to a non-sufferer, there are parts of the brain that are much more active. It is the brain. Anyway, I'm going to make a second video today, as I've had quite a breakthrough in the last few days. I hope it comes across positive and helpful. I know that sometimes people that are suffering very, very badly, if you try and give out some sort of advice that you've not cured yourself, because I haven't cured myself, but you've managed to get your tinnitus to come right down where you're not hearing it anymore. Some people that are suffering very, very badly, they don't really like to hear this because they're suffering so badly. I understand why. And it can have you can get negative responses from this. Julian's had some, I know, because I quite often go on his channel and I see some people leave very negative comments to him, various stupid things, you know, like, you should be locked up, why are you telling people lies, why are you giving false hope, etc. And I noticed Gray has had one person telling him, you know, no one's convinced by what you're talking about, blah, 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 your videos, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I feel sorry for these people because they are in such a state, they don't like to hear that anybody's getting better. But I am going to put this video out there, this next one, part 2, because it really does reinforce what I've been saying. I hope what I say is helpful. And best wishes to everybody. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Hopefully I'm going to do it today. Okay, thank you very much.